Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to welcome you to our today's webinar about modernization concepts for finishing lines. My name is Stefan Niggeschmidt and I'm one of the managing directors of Siempelkamp Logistics and Service, also called the SLS. We are the service company within the Siempelkamp Group. The aim of the SLS is to offer you the best possible after-sales service for your plant. Our services cover all kinds of spare parts supply, the development and realization of comprehensive modernization and retrofit concepts, inspection and maintenance support, 24/7 remote service and troubleshooting, and last but not least, we care about industrial IT with our well-known product use software. In today's webinar, we would like to focus on upgrade solutions in the field of finishing lines. There are several reasons which may lead to the necessity to adapt or modify the finishing line of your plant to new requirements. These could be, for example, product changes or discontinued electrical components. Furthermore, it is also important that the finishing line fits to the capacity requirements when you are intending to increase the capacity of your press. For this and other questions, our engineers have developed custom-made solutions in order to unlock the potential of your plant. And now, I would like to hand over the word to Christian Gareis and Robert Graf.
Thank you, Stefan. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christian Gareis, and I have been employed in the Department for Finishing Lines at Siempelkamp for over 26 years. Together with my experienced team at the Wolfratshausen location, we support all existing plants downstream of the presses worldwide. This includes, for example, our Conti-roll as well as our multi-dielite and single-dielite presses. As Senior Sales Manager, I am the first contact person directly available for your concerns regarding the finishing lines. We are pleased to welcome you to today's webinar. Today's topic is the finishing line should not be the limit of your plant. Before we start our session, I would like to introduce our sales manager, Robert Graf, who will share his knowledge and ideas with us.
Thanks, Christian. As Christian mentioned, my name is Robert Graf and I've been working at SLS for 2 years now. During this time, I have been able to gain a deep insight into the complexity of the different finishing processes. I will be happy to advise you regarding your concerns in the areas downstream of the press. Starting at the diagonal saw, all the way to the packing of the finished panel stacks before finally shipping the products to your customers. In the area of finishing lines, there are 5 major areas responsible for manufacturing your final products. The cooling and stacking line with a diagonal saw downstream of the Conti-roll, various storage systems between the press line and the operations for further processing, a sanding line with or without integrated saws, separate cut-to-size saws for final cutting, packing lines with automatic machines for the completion of stacks for transport.
For all areas, we can offer customized rebuilds, capacity increases, the replacement of existing machines, retrofits, and additional functionalities. It is often advisable to upgrade the electrical switchgear to the latest control technology for the double diagonal saws, for example, the Siemens S7-1500 or Allen Bradley Contologics. In this way, you can improve performance as well as the availability and the supply of spare parts. In addition, we use the advantages of the new controls and can also adapt the saws to higher press speeds. A control system modification requires an installation time of approximately 72 to 96 hours up to the first board and can be carried out during short maintenance shutdowns. Laboratory flaps are installed directly behind the diagonal saws in many systems. You can discharge a lap cut there, but this may be limited to a press speed of maximum 600 mm per second. Do you run at faster speeds and still want to remove the lab card there and not from the reject box? We have developed a flap that can remove the lab cut at a speed of up to 1500 mm per second. Let us check whether we can retrofit your plant.
We have developed an innovative and groundbreaking measurement tool, our ZICOCAM. This will improve quality assurance and plant safety after the diagonal saw. Our ZICOCAM will monitor the cut length, width and diagonal length immediately after the press in order to produce the most accurate panel measurements at this step of the process. This reduces material consumption, the amount of waste, and increases the safety of your operators, as the boards no longer have to be measured manually. In many installations, the trimming and cross-cutting saw unit can be automatically corrected with the values from the ZICOCAM. Let us check if this system can be installed in your cooling and stacking line, and if you require more information, please contact us.
But also, the further machines can be individually adapted by SLS to change requirements. For example, reject stations can be modernized or renewed to adapt them to the changed production demand. Current concepts for rejecting waste boards solve possible limitations. The mechanics, the electrics, and also the assembly and commissioning are planned and carried out from a single source by SLS.
Next, we want to discuss our cooling turners. In this area, we can also increase the performance of your system through rebuild measures. Today, modern elements in control technology enable us to noticeably shorten the cycle time of the turners so that shorter boards can also be cooled at higher speeds. Mechanically, many systems can also be upgraded to form books of panels prior to the cooling turner. This enables the cooling of panels produced at high speed and also increases the cooling capacity.
But even after the turner, there are areas that influence your production. We also have options for the stacking section to accommodate changing requirements. This includes, for example, an increase in speed to increase capacity, modifications in order to produce new board sizes so that you can react to changing market situations, a reduction of wear and an increase of availability through the installation of modern technologies such as laser distance measurement for the gripper carriage or intelligent frequency converters to reduce dead times.
Christian, what else do we have to offer in the area of cooling and stacking equipment?
We still have a lot to offer. Almost any machine can be rebuilt, modified, supplemented or replaced. A very important measure is an upgrade of the electrical switchgear for the cooling and stacking lines. Similar to the diagonal saw, an outdated control system should also be replaced by modern programmable logic controllers. We have suitable solutions for both Siemens and Rockwell, with the shortest possible conversion times. We can even replace old Glöckner and Möller controls with the latest technology. Of course, this also applies to all subsequent areas up to the packing line. Here are the availability of spare parts and possible adaptations to changed requirements a major benefit too.
Many plants worldwide have automatic storage systems. In addition to the aforementioned upgrade of the control system, the warehouse software can also be brought up to date. At the same time, it is possible to make the warehouse management computers and the associated software fit for Windows 10 in order to adapt the security in your IT network to the latest requirements. Not only can the electrics be upgraded, the mechanics have also been improved in recent years so that the current operation of the warehouse can become safer and more precise. For example, with the help of laser distance meters. Let us check your storage area to see what possibilities we have for improvement. No matter if it is block storage, high bay storage or crane storage, we have a solution ready for all types of storage systems.
You do not have a warehouse and transport your stacks with forklift? An automatic storage system is suitable to reduce costs, to transport stacks gently, or to allow unrestricted access to all intermediate products at any time. Siempelkamp offers the following storage types: high-stack storage system, high-bay storage system with 2 and 4 mast vehicles, gantry storage and crane storage systems. But what about the sanding lines in particle board, MDF and OSB production plants? We also offer extensive modifications in this area after we have examined the potential in our project planning.
Speaking of project planning, can you please explain to our viewers what the tasks of project planning are and how project planning works together with sales?
Project planning is a part of sales and works very closely with the sellers. The experts examine the plant with regard to the existing performance, calculate necessary measures to realize the requirements, for example by means of extensive cycle time analysis. They put their ideas on paper and work out the complete concept. For the solution, areas are colored in different ways on the layouts to make the measures clear. In many cases, 3D representations can also be created.
But now to the sanding line. Christian, what can we do in this area?
This already starts in the area of feeding. To avoid dead times, for example, many sanding lines can be equipped with a second feeding station. This allows almost uninterrupted sanding. This often increases the capacity of the sanding lines by 10 to 20%, depending on the product, and thus also increases the flexibility in the interaction with the production of the press. Feeding 2 or more panels at the same time and separating them immediately before the sander is also a way of eliminating existing bottlenecks.
Furthermore, for the sanding machine itself, a considerable increase in speed can be realized by adding additional sanding heads. In certain product areas, the capacity of the sanding line can then exceed that of the press. But that is not where the possibilities end, is it?
You're right. If the sanding line is equipped with an integrated 2-pass saw system, we also have some options there to increase performance, availability, as well as safety. For example, with an existing single board saw, book building prior to the crosscut saw can lead to an enormous increase in performance. At the same time, this leads to an improvement in cut quality. New types of feeders with synchronized chain pushers to the crosscut saws increases accuracy. Manual intervention by the operating staff is no longer necessary. This not only serves work safety, but also reduces the production of boards with incorrect or inaccurate dimensions. In this area, Siempelkamp has developed a great deal of new technology over the last 20 years. Above all, in order to match the capacities of the sanding lines to the increasing capacities of the presses.
But what about systems that produce their final board sizes with a separate book saw?
These saws can also be increased in performance or increase their product range. SLS cooperates with some original manufacturers of these complex saws to always get the best possible result for you. If the product requirements should change considerably over the years, it is also possible to consider an additional dividing saw in combination with the existing lines. Our colleagues in sales and project planning have the solutions ready for very many requirements. Decades of experience help them to find the right solution. For the existing lines, extensive documents, drawings, and the history are still available in the archive at the Wolfratshausen site. Meanwhile, more than 40,000 drawings are available in digital form. At the end of most lines is the finished product, a stack of boards ready for shipping or internal storage. Do you already have a packing line and want to expand or modernize it? SLS offers all kinds of packing machines in cooperation with well-known manufacturers. This allows you to automate your manual processes, for example, cross-strapping or foil wrapping. This leads to an increase in capacity, the processes are optimized, and additional packing steps can be realized. Often, a single existing packing line is also no longer sufficient and can be supplemented by another packing line.
If your packing and strapping processes are still carried out manually, we can also offer packing lines as a new line. We check the necessary space conditions and advise you in the right investments in this area. Personal safety is also included in our concept so that the line will comply with local safety regulations. In Europe, you will receive the Declaration of Conformity from Siempelkamp for the safe operation of your machines.
From the time the board exits the press to the finished stack, SLS has experienced specialists and young talents with new, innovative ideas to optimize, modernize, or expand any plant. Increased demands on the products, capacities, production costs, and other aspects during the lifetime of a plant are examined, analyzed, and suitably implemented by us. In summary, you can 1. Increase the performance in order to increase the overall capacity of the plant. 2. Increase the effectiveness by extending the availability of your plant. 3. Expand the product range in order to open up new markets. 4. Reduce manufacturing costs to improve competitiveness. 5. Modernize the components to be able to warranty the supply of spare parts. So, the finishing line will not be the limit of your plant anymore. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions about our options, you can now speak to Robert and me directly in our Q&A session.